Let's go to the next game, Dalton, a game that we actually went to on Friday night. Clemson beating number 20 Louisville 20-19, delivering probably a fatal blow to Louisville's hopes of making it to the ACC title game and maybe competing for a college football playoff spot. Let's go over the highest grade players, starting off with the Clemson Tigers. TJ Parker, the edge rusher, 89.7 grade for him. Antonio Williams, the wide receiver, 74.3. Will Helt, the other edge rusher, 72.9. TJ Moore, the wide receiver, 71.3. Corian Gibson, the cornerback, 70. And Cade Klubnik with a solid 74 grade in the win for the Tigers. Go over to Louisville with their highest graded players in the loss. Kewan Brown, the running back, 79.4. Renee Conga, the D tackle, also had a 79.4. Pete Nigra, the center, 75.3. Jordan Garrod, the D tackle, 71.1. Jaleel Skinner, the tight end, 71.1. And Miller Moss with a 64 grade in the loss. Dalton, what told the story in this game?
So often late in the season, you get a game that just encapsulates the entirety of a team's season, right? And when you look at Louisville's 3 losses, you have a loss to Virginia in overtime, you have a loss to Cal in overtime, and you have this loss right here. And honestly, when I really went back and thought about it a second time, what we had seen, first of all, what we had seen for 3 quarters was a pretty darn evenly matched, good defensive style football game, right? Which I thought was a possibility that we were getting with these 2 defenses and the way that, there's really an advantage over the 2 offensive lines. The fourth quarter was one of the stupidest quarters of football I've ever watched in my life. In person, certainly. On both sides, I was just like, after a while, we were like, I don't even know what's going on here. People who have YouTube TV had just gotten it back just in time to see that fourth quarter. So certainly they must have really missed college football. But 3 missed kicks. Honestly, at the end of the day, Louisville's offense did everything they needed to. Maybe not everything they needed to, but did enough that they needed to win this game. Louisville's defense did just about everything they needed to win this game. They gave them enough opportunities. Clemson was making mistakes. I mean, we're handing the ball to Peter Woods twice in a row down on the goal line and fumbling. The botched snap on the punt that gave Louisville a chance at a field goal. I mean, you just look at what went down with this special teams unit. Cooper Ranvier missed an extra point in the second quarter and then a 50-yarder in the fourth quarter. Then he gets pulled for Nick Keller. Clemson gives them the ball at Clemson's 23. Louisville ends up going backwards, and then they miss a 46-yarder. I mean, you just talk about a team in a lot of these games, the Virginia game, the Cal game, and this game, that had every chance. You know how close Louisville is to being undefeated? That's what they really got to be feeling right now, is they're this close to being undefeated, and in just all of these games, in the biggest moments, they just could not find a way to finish it off. And this was a weird game. It really was. It was so weird to watch an entire fourth quarter that the 3 missed kicks are only a small part of everything that we saw in that 15 minutes.
I think the story of this game for me was resilience. One team was resilient through their mistakes. Another team was not resilient through their mistakes, because Clemson, they were stuffed on the goal line. They had a botched punt in this game and also a 31-yard punt in this one too. Louisville had 2 missed field goals, a missed extra point, a fumble, 10 penalties for 84 yards as well for Louisville. Clemson scored on the first play after the Duke Watson fumble, and 3 of those 10 penalties for Louisville were unsportsmanlike conduct, and a lot of them were killer for them because they drove down to the Clemson 23-yard line, but they had a false start and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, made it a 46-yard field goal, and their kicker missed it too. So both teams in this game had back-breaking mistakes that really should have cost both of them this game, but Clemson persevered through their mistakes and came out with a 1-point win over Louisville.
It's an excellent point you make about the penalties. And there's certain games where you rack up a lot of penalties and it's irritating. It's like, okay, whatever, the refs are just whatever. This one, it was like huge back-breaking penalties in the worst moments at all times for Louisville. You mentioned the false start even, right after Clemson hands you the game, basically.
Yeah.
False start, then an unsportsmanlike, then you're trying to scratch and claw your way back, then you get the play to put you back in range, at least in decent field goal range, 46 from the right hash, and a second kicker comes in and misses that. I mean, there's too many times with this Louisville team, and it's funny because win or loss, all of their games have been like this. And the problem is it's always that one-score theory where you go, well, you play all these one-score games, Eventually, they kind of come down to coin flips, and that's what's happened here with the Cardinals. So, for all intents and purposes, their season is over. They have 3 losses in the ACC, only one more conference game here, and just they're going to be feeling like with this game and their season, really what could have been with all these close losses here.
Who do you want to shout out in this game on Clemson or Louisville side?
I'm going to go actually on Louisville's side. Look, they didn't have Isaac Brown in this game, but boy, do they have a stable of running backs, man. When you talk, I know Duke Watson fumbled, but my guy is Keywan Brown in this game. As physical as he ran 15 carries, 135 yards, how about 9 yards a clip in this game? 111 of those 135 yards after contact for 7 missed tackles. Absolutely ran over, what was it, Khalil Barnes on the one play, right down the middle of the defense, 6 explosive runs. Keywan Brown, especially, I thought in the second half, was just outstanding. Jeff Brom, there was a stretch in this game where he got in a really good stretch of play calling, especially with the run game and manipulating Clemson's fronts. It just that they couldn't take advantage of it to finish off with a win, but Keywan Brown was outstanding. You want an angry runner? That's one of them right there.
I want to shout out TJ Parker, the edge rusher for Clemson, who probably will be a first-round pick in this NFL draft. He almost had a 90 PFF grade in this one against Louisville, 82.3 pass rush grade, 2 quarterback hits and 4 pressures on only 21 pass rushing snaps. He also had a 78.1 run defense grade. He's a great pass rusher and a great run defender. He's been this way his entire 3-year career at Clemson. Even though the Tigers have had a disappointing year so far, TJ Parker has been very, very good with an 82.8 PFF grade on the season. He should be, at least in my opinion, a top 20 pick in the 2026 NFL draft, if not a top 15 pick in this upcoming draft too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I mean, he was outstanding in this game as well, and you could really feel one thing I did like too on top of Parker and the way he played, that Clemson in the second half really, to me, dialed up the heat on Miller Moss. I just felt like in almost every game I watched this week, it was which defensive coordinators are just turning up the heat on opposing quarterbacks, and I thought that was the case here with Miller Moss and the Clemson defense. I thought, Tom Allen did a really nice job of just getting more aggressive as the game went on and trusting the back-end guys to cover downfield. But, no, I think certainly when you look at the way that Parker played, he played like first-round pick in this game.
Definitely. So Louisville suffering a probably fatal blow to their chances of making it to the ACC title game and a playoff spot. While Clemson, it's been a very disappointing year, obviously, for the Tigers, who had national title aspirations going into the year. But with this win over Louisville, they pretty much guarantee themselves at least a bowl game this year. As long all we got to do is beat Furman or South Carolina to at least make a bowl game this season.